and I want to believe you're hearing me this moment. It's a type of, refreshing for me. So I decided to come out to just throw this before I go do what's before me. And I just want to be a blessing to one person at each time I come online. All right. And so a story popped up in my mind that I have been like a witness to. Everyone we grow up someday and will be coupled with, the spouse that God would have given them. And at the course of this, we discovered that we have to do some little work just to make sure that we gradually, grow to know ourselves better, and then gel, permit me to use the word, to become one, and then be a model that other will look up to, model after. And then, if you know me too well, I always talk about mentoring to the younger generation that will be coming after us, especially when we are done with our assignments here on net and it's time to go to the place of rest. And so, we always want to drop a word for someone. And I want to say this moment, which of this story, we are younger, that will tell us story, story, story. Once upon a time, and permit me to use once upon a time. It's not what we act in the movies, it's not what you just see anyway, but it's what happens. And in between, there are other things that could happen that you will be wondering, oh wow, the things like this really happen, or anything can happen in the world that we find ourselves. At least with the little year I've spent on earth, I can actually tell you a lot of funny things can happen. It happened differently to different people at different times. So at this moment, I want to graciously say to us, let's listen to the story of these sweet couples. Thank you for coming on, and you will get value for your time. Just don't leave without giving me a thumb up and a subscription. I talk healthy relationship. So story, story, story. This couple, they have it all. They were comfortable. Both husband and wife had the work they do. They have, what is bringing food to their table. They are all schooled and they have their career pursuing, working well, and bam, they now got married. And as God will have it, of course, like a normal wedding scene, I'm talking about blessing when you have to call people from all walks of life to come and see and celebrate with you what God is doing. And so people gathered, and it was an ample, beautiful celebration. People came from everywhere. And then it was time to bid them farewell, to just go on after their honeymoon, because they have it all, traveled, and then people have left them to enjoy themselves and begin to live life the way they choose to live life. After the honeymoon and the vacation, they came back, and life started oh so sweet and oh so fairly well. God bless them over time with children. They had 3 children. Everything was going on well. The children were all going to school. When it was time, yeah, to go to boarding school, living away from home, schooling away from home, it was all fine. The couple were doing well. They had the money to, spend on the children. They can afford whatever they desire. They had the luxury to the best of their ability. But when it comes to luxury, of course, the way it's patterned, certain one has more than the others. And then, of course, that's life. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's the way life is. You will definitely have people that will have more than the other. So everything was going on well until suddenly, the man's work kept increasing and doing better, in angry to the point whereby most of the time he would travel out, and then of course he was making it more, and then there was little or no time to spend with the family. It does happen, yes, but I'm only saying this way that just to pinpoint some things. There is a 2 scenario that we have. Thank you for staying. Please thumb up and do me well by subscribing to my channel. God will bless you as you do so. When you, if you have your contribution you make at the end of this of the video, we are looking at two possibilities, two happenings, that we always see around us. And so everything was going on well with this couple until there was, living apart. I always tell people, as much as possible, do not stay too much away from each other. But thank God for means of communication, the phones and the other. But at that time it wasn't so that much. But as God will have it for this couple, or fate will have it, they started drifting. The woman, however, there are different kinds of people, there are different kinds of women, started feeling lonely, started feeling agitated, started feeling, until it gets to a point where the man can stay months without coming back. And before you know it, year after year, there was no cementing in their relationship. Year after year, as time passed, as time go by, this man comes back home, and they now began to live, not the way they used to be with their children. They've all grown, and before you know it, there was this kind of gap, lapses that have been created before this family, and the communication was not there. And then when the man discovered, when he came back home, he has retired by this time. Of course, he wasn't coming, as he has lost his strength. Is no longer there to travel up and down. So many younger people have come up and they've taken his position at the place of work, and it's time to, he has also trained people that have also taken the position, and the wife too has had her own share of, working out there. And before you know it all, it's like things were no longer the same. They were not together to begin to plan for after retirement in life. Yeah, they were not together to plan for after retirement. Before you knew it, they became, like strangers. They cannot agree on certain things. The man will say, "You changed a lot from who I used to know." The woman will say, "But you say she seemed not to be understanding," and there was so much trouble coming. And before you knew it, age was going, age was passing. The children have now grown after school, have started having their own relationships, thinking about settling with their own spouse. And then time came up, they were of age, and there was no companionship among the couple as much. And I'm not saying that it's not possible to build companionship no matter the number of years, but things have gone wrong. So many waters have passed under the bridge, like people will say, and before you know it, they couldn't in any way, control what is it. The woman here, the husband was not yet, had her own kind of friends that were influencing her, and she couldn't even listen. But they were living in the same roof, but they were not even paying attention to each other. Things were no longer going as much. It was difficult for them to merge together. It was difficult for them, the man, to start building another friend because they had come of age. And then it was difficult for them to go on the normal outing they used to when they initially got married. They didn't just allow, or they didn't just allow for that opportunity for them to, come together as one. And a lot of people are living like that at this age, time, and dispensation, when they are not considering what will become of them after 40 years of marriage, after 30 years of marriage, when they will not be in their 60s, when they will not be maybe possibly in their 70s, of course, as God gives them age. How they if they don't build companionship over time because they choose to just bury their heads in their career, what will become of them? Before you knew it, the woman saw the man as a stranger. It was difficult for them to sit down. I don't know. The sweetest part of marriage, if you ask me, I would say, is at that time when you are now aged, the children have now grown and they've chose their own paths on life. At that age, it's so sweet and it's so beautiful. But if you don't allow and think about the future, you are going to have crisis. I will come back to this couple, but let me go back to the other couple that I want to talk about. These are nominal, you call them, low life race couple. Yeah, low life in quotes. They didn't have much. The man has the job he was doing. The woman was a trader, selling. And so there are other cases whereby there are people that are seasonal in the business, on the choice of businesses they've taken to do. But then they will always, as they were growing, have time to be together, have time to be with their children. They are not living in massive home per se. They didn't have everything they wanted, but everything they had, they were able to share in common with each other. If they go to church together, there was never a time. That's the difference. There's kind of job or work separated them. They understood their career. They gave it its time that it's required. They also understood the place of, spending time with themselves. And so over years and over time, they managedly saw their children via school. Sometimes the woman takes the children to the place of business where she does a selling of what she was doing. It was more or less like, not, I wouldn't even call it average. But I want to pin something I picked from here. As they kept aging, the managedly, they sent the children, the man was doing his work, but they see themselves every day. This couple will see themselves, except for special occasion that would have made one to travel. And as they come, they are running back to the embrace of the other. They are sitting down, sharing the beauty, the gist. They talk together of what has happened. They laugh together. They eat in the same bowl. They embrace themselves. They manage in lots of things, but they didn't see. They embrace more the joy that this togetherness had to offer them. They embraced it and they were happy just going on and living together. There was no time for regret. There was no time for, and they cried together. Permit me, because I saw this couple. Sometimes the one business have gone down, the other one will come down, the man, and they will sit back together and they're doing business together with the wife. When it was time this man retired from the little job he was doing, they were together. They share everything. You could see them. If you are an African, you know what it means to buy corn, one corn, roasted corn, break it together, buy bean cake. They were just together. They were just eating together. Everything was just, as sweet as though as it should be, as everyone expect. I'm just saying, if you're either of these, in your which of these couple would you like? Hardly will they have quarrel. They normally, because every marriage has its own challenges, they normally will have their own misunderstanding, but hardly will you hear anyone, saying it or shouting it for neighbors to hear. The other one will have friends to call and say, Mr. Jack has done this, Angela has done this. She cannot listen to me. But these ones managed to keep their home together. And time, bam, pass. Time, tick tock, waits for no man. The time keep ticking. And they are now in their 50s. They are now in their 60s presently. But the good thing of these people, you always hear laughter from their home. You hear less complaints from their home. They are this, when this one is down in health, the other one is there for him. The other one is down, they are there for each other. They are naked always, they are not ashamed. They sit down and tackle their problems. These other ones have it all, but yet one cannot sit down and listen to the other. It might not be a perfect scenario like you might be thinking I will paint it, but a good aspect is what I want to bring out in this story time or this time is to see that these ones didn't have it all, but at the tail end, as they are aging, they had companionship, they had joy, they ate together. Their children will always want to go back to them. They want to pattern their own life after these poor, in quotes, parents. I want to say again, what are we modeling to the upcoming generation? Is it a home that will be filled with joy and laughter? Or is it a home that will be filled with misunderstanding? And when one is old, the other have the opportunity to just go off, travel off, and leave the other wallowing in loneliness? Or is it a home that we want to build whereby you are there with each other even until your dying time? I choose the path of joy, and everything that we want, we should walk it. You have to choose the path that you eventually, see yourself gliding on. You have to make it. As a man makes his mat or bed, like the saying goes, so shall he lie on it. And so every day I tell us, let us cement and iron our relationship. On a daily basis, let's make it a joyous one that people will want to look at and want to pattern after. When they remember us, people remember us, as the saying goes, they want to remember with something goodly, something, virtuous, something that people will always make reference to, a family that people will always make reference to. Can you make your family that? And I want to tell us that it's difficult to achieve this if we want to become self-centered, if you do not want to be on a pattern of God. The Bible says, and we all understand, that God himself was the one that instituted the first marriage by bringing Eve to Adam. He has what the picture he wanted them to come up with. And at the end of the day, when people live in line with the word of God, they come out to be beautiful. They come out to be what everyone wants to emulate. What are we patterning our life after? What are we patterning our family after? What are people looking up to? And they will say they want to be like us. Is there anything of virtue people can learn from us? If we are living our lives and there's nothing that people can learn from us, then it's not life worth living. We must live our lives that people will look at us and they want to pattern after our own life. They want to be a blessing. By the time they want to be, be applauded when they tell our stories. They want to look at us and they'll be like, wow, these are doing well. What are you partnering for the next generation to take, over or take after from you? We have to pattern rightly. We have to pattern goodly. You have to stop thinking about yourself. No, it's me. I don't care what anybody thinks. And I tell people, no, it shouldn't be like that. You have to care what another person think. You have to care what your neighbors think. You have, because you're not on earth alone. You have to care what people that look at you, they are seeing some picture. You have to care what picture that they are going to take from you. You have to care what your children will look at and want to become or want to swallow from what they get from you. We must of a necessity pattern well. We must of a necessity think about what people also think about us. It's not all about us alone, but it is all about how a blessing will become. And when we are out of the shores of this earth, when we are out of this place, what would we be saying that, is a legacy that we have left? Where is the archives that we are building for other people to go look at and take something? What are we building? Don't be self-centered. I said, no, it doesn't concern me. It's my family. I do it the way I do it. No. You are a picture that people are looking at. You are a mirror that everyone wants to, look at and want to draw something from. What are you leaving for the next generation? What are you leaving for them to pattern after? What are you giving? What value? Don't just think about eating and that's all. What are you leaving? What is the legacy? What is someone going to look at your life and learn from? Do you have time for your spouse? Your spouse should be part of your priority. The joy and the laughter in the life of your spouse should be of priority to you. The joy and the laughter and peace in the life of your loved ones should be of priority to you. Every other thing comes second. Every other thing should come second. Every other thing should come second. Think about the joy of your spouse. That's the reason why God brings a man or brings a man and brings a woman together, is that through the beautiful thing about in the man, he can use it to affect, put light in the other things that is lacking in the life of the woman. And also the beauty that God has put in the life of the woman, she can also use to be a blessing in the life of the man. No man is an island. No man is an island. You have something to offer. Be like that couple that they are not just chasing money. Always remember, we came to the earth with no money. We came to the earth with nothing. And so someday we are going to leave the earth and leave whatever possession. The most intriguing beauty that we can live in the life of our family and loved one is, the joy that we have left feeling their hearts. When they remember us, they will be full of joy that at least and at last, we made, variable impacts, beautiful impacts in the life. What impacts are you making in the life of your loved ones? What impacts? Strive to make impact despite what they call you. When we are growing up, you will see a scenario whereby when you are trying to help your wife do one or two things, people will begin to call you woman rapper. woman wrapper because you are helping your wife to be, you trying to keep your home. You are not going out with the boys, they call it, to have fun. You're not going out with the girls to have fun. You are doing your responsibility. They call you woman wrapper, they should better call me woman wrapper for me to have my joy at home. And even let it, they should call me whatever name. Let the society call me whatever name, as long as my loved ones are happy. Everyone is entitled to call me whatever they feel like calling me, as long as my family and loved ones are happy. Thank you very much, and see you in my next video. Please, if you're coming across this, do not forget to thumb up and like, and God bless you as you do so. Drop a comment. And then I want you to know that we are not about stopping this aspect of our life, broadcasting to people on a daily basis that life, especially in the family setting, can really be joyful. So don't give up on your life, don't give up in your relationship, don't give up on that child, don't give up on the people in your life, for beauty can still come out of them. Thank you so much, and God bless you. See you. And yeah, I want to see your comment, I want to see your subscription. Thank you very much. See you next. Thank you.